What is going on, my friend?
Hello, Jamie.
What do you say, Michael?
Oh, I literally just walked into the house. And boy,
Yes,
did
I
it
was.
hurt.
You timed it just right, man. When I was hitting the countdown timer,
Yeah.
trying to hit live, I saw Mike has entered the studio. It's like, perfect. That is perfect. You know, I think I've touched a different thing or hit a different layout. Does this look better?
That's it right there.
That's it right there. I was like, man, I feel like we're so zoomed in right here.
We are zoomed in.
Absolutely.
Zoomed
We are
in
here.
and zoned in.
That's it. I'm going to go ahead and get this shared out.
Sure. You do that. You do the share out. I'll do the shout out. How about that?
Sounds good, brother.
Dwayne, dude, this guy never, ever misses. Dwayne Smither, so glad you're here. Bobby Linden. Bobby's going with me Friday. We're going to go look at a big mansion.
Gotta love those.
We're thinking about becoming roommates.
Yeah.
And then Ryan, good to see you, my brother. Geo's Pro Wash. Yo, I'm glad you're here, bro. Cody Smith, we are well tonight. Kind of cold, man. I just kind of ran in, and it's a little bit chilly out there. Bleed Sprayer, good evening, my guy. Good evening. Lynchburg Pro Wash. Yeah, buddy. You better believe it. We're looking good. 151, my brother, Scott Terry. Been praying for you this week. Sean Garner. Hello, my brother. Sean and Leah were with us last week. And I'm just going record and say probably the best episode we've ever had.
Dude, it was great.
Yeah,
It was great. We got to do it again. Can't wait for round 2.
Yeah, we gotta have a couple of sucky podcasts. Like, I love the title of tonight's worst podcast ever. You should have called it the worst episode ever.
Wow, that's fair.
After last week, man.
Yeah. Last week was fire.
Scott Terry said my surgery went good. I'm home, recovering. And everybody, thanks for your prayers. We appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. I'm glad you're doing well, my friend. Glad you are doing well. Well, we're talking a little bit tonight as Jeremy is getting things shared out. We're going to be talking about, here we are, first week of fall. How's business? Let me tell you, things have fallen off for the fresh. Business has slowed down. I got a couple of calls today, and I got that big mansion that Bobby and I can go look at. Got some things on the horizon, but man, it's been no call fall. That's what this is. No call fall.
No call fall.
Mm-hmm. How about you guys? How is everybody doing? Are you getting leads or calls coming in? I know this time last year I was dead in the water. So this has been a much better year than last year for me. So I'll take a downfall. I had a great spring and summer. So Cody Smith said, washing for me is slow. I've added window cleaning 2 weeks ago, and I'm booked solid.
There you go.
We got to do it. Cody, let me ask you, brother, how are you advertising that? Because Bobby and I were talking about it just today. How are we going to advertise window clean? Actually, it wasn't Bobby. Danny and I were talking about window washing today, and how are we going to advertise? So, Cody, how are you advertising your window washing? And then Lynchburg Pro Wash says, Jeremy, I can't wait to ask you about your hospital job. Well, that's definitely going to be a topic of conversation tonight after he gets things all shared out and settled in.
Yeah.
What about this one? Lynchburg says he just booked 11 three-story apartment complexes. Man, I don't like you. I bid on that same one, and you got it. You probably $99 me out of it. No, congratulations, bro. Mr. Toolbox says window cleaning pulls in more leads on Google than pressure washing. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, which is a mystery to me. He said, then you can convert the window jobs into pressure washing jobs. That's the plan. That is the plan. Bleach Sprayer said calls are coming in. He booked an apartment complex. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. 151 says, just started washing a plaza of 9 businesses last weekend. Washed some rentals for the owner last year. Biggest job to date for me. So there you have it. You wash a few rental properties. The owner also has 9 busineses. You see what I'm saying? It's just
trying to share it and it's getting tangled up. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, it's all good. Yeah. So you this snowball effect that happens when you least expect it, like you didn't even want to wash those rentals and it turns into a strip mall, So we got to say, what's up with that? What's up, Jeremy and Fresh Average Content? We're glad that you're here, my brother. So here in a little bit, after Jeremy gets all settled in, he's going to tell us about that hospital job he washed with one other dude. They washed an entire hospital in 3 days or 4 days? 3 days.
About 15 to 16 hours of work. That's how we're classifying it.
Wow. Plus your drive time.
Well, yeah. Drive time. Yeah. Which is roughly an hour each way for the both of us.
Well, you nailed it. You knocked it out of the park on this one. Good for you.
I think so. Yep. So Amanda said, I'll tell you this real quick. I know she's watching. She said, we don't discuss money tonight and you don't wear sunglasses. I said, it's going to be one or the other.
That's right. One or the other.
So,
okay. How about, I know how much you made on it. How about I discuss the numbers and you wear the sunglasses?
I can hear it right now. She's watching. She's watching. She knows where Trenton is. There'll be a whole lot of ripping. I'll tell you that.
A lot of ripping and a lot of roaring. That's for sure. She's ripping and I'm roaring.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Well, Cody Smith said, I texted my past clients telling them that I now offer window cleaning and probably 50% of them text back wanting quotes. That's awesome. Good for you. He said, I've been posting in free Facebook groups.
Put some money on the table.
In my HOA. I'm very, very happy for you, bro. It's funny you mentioned it, Cody, because Danny and I were talking today about it, and he's considering taking up window washing. And I told him, I think what I'm going to do is just send out a text blast and say, Mike's Pressure Washing is now offering exterior window cleaning. Respond with the word windows to get your free quote. I think that will.
Dude, Amanda, write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
So real funny. We were having a discussion tonight about sending out another mass text since it's fall.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having a discussion around how does that look? What does that look like? And, I think I shared with you guys, I sent mine out back in the spring, back in February while we were at Sales Boost in Orlando. And I had such an overwhelming response and booked a ton of washes off of that. So now what I'm trying to do is mimic that same style wording, but somehow making that work for fall to see if we can get that booked up. Plus, you guys know I do Christmas lights. Now I'm getting ready to, and I probably should have sent the text out for the Christmas lights, but here we are. So now we got 2 different ones getting ready to go out next week. So
okay.
I always find it to be really good on a Tuesday afternoon, evening, actually about 6 o'clock. That's what I shoot for. Tuesdays at 6. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Average Content says, not sure where to spend marketing dollars. I've got some extra money. I did very well getting 50 yard signs. That's okay. I like yard signs. He says, but Facebook ads, 20 28 attempted campaigns have overall lost me money. Yeah, a lot of that has to do with the time of year that you're using Facebook. Right now, probably is not your best opportunity for Facebook unless you're offering something that's unique, like window cleaning, gutter cleaning would be huge right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'm going to spend a lot of money on Facebook right now for house washing because your market has really shrunk. It's gotten smaller. So now I'm going to try to get some
Where's this guy located at?
niche work. Yeah, average content. Where are you located, my brother?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me and Mike and anybody north of us, you're probably not. You probably don't need to be doing any kind of Facebook marketing. I could be wrong. But previous experience says in about August. That's when it kind of shifts. That's when at least I stopped. Was in August because the leads were just not coming in for the campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll tell you another thing. I don't know, average content. Is this something that you're trying to do on your own? Have you hired someone? If you haven't hired someone, you need some help. I mean, I'd advise you to check out our buddy Gage Lake. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, and he's not going to. I don't feel like he's going to advise you wrong. He's a good Christian man, so I think he has good intentions because if he makes you money, then you make him money. So it's a mutual beneficial relationship at that point.
Yeah. Oh, Steve McFall has asked twice, and I know if we don't answer this question tonight, he will be calling me later tonight, and I don't need that.
He'll be at your front door.
He'll probably be knocked on the front door here in a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. How's everyone pricing window washing? I'm not going to answer that because I don't know how to price. By the way, that big contract that I thought I got with the tech school, 7 campuses, looks like that's a big turd. Looks like that one went down the drain. I sent out my quote. He instantly responded and said that's way too high. He said that's almost twice as much. And I'm like, yeah, I can come down a little bit, but not much. And they said, well, we're going to have to get extra quotes, more quotes. So I think I lost that one. That was 7 campuses because I was too high. But honestly, man, it's a lot of really high windows. I'm not looking to give my work away. There's a reason why the person who recommended me is no longer in business. So
yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, Steve, I'll give you my answer, and I ain't telling you that my answer is correct by any means. I'm only doing in exterior. I am not doing any interior. I have quoted it one time. Apparently, I must have quoted it wrong because they were French panes. Just to give you some reference, those were. Now we won't even talk about that. But on regular exterior windows, I like to try to be, if I'm adding it with a house wash, I like to try to be at about $8 a window. That's just me. That's personally $8 to $10 a window. Now that might be too cheap, might be too much. I don't really know. There's a lot of windows on a lot of houses down here. However, when I say $8 a window, there is a minimum, and usually, if we're adding them on, even to like a small house, I'm going with at least like a $200 minimum add-on. If I'm doing it standalone, it's still going to fall into like our minimum price of like $300 for window cleaning on a small house.
Yeah, you're not going to land a lot of it on a small house, but no, you're not wrong. But in
that's
the comments,
just something, but like I said, I think Clay with C3, I think I seen he mentioned that markets vary, and that's so true. Markets do vary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mark New York 2009 says $15 per window inside and out. Okay. It's probably pretty good price there. I'd be guessing. I've never done it really. So I don't know. Average content says I prefer indoor, no ladders needed, all windows in reach for the most part, usually, unless you get one of them big tall houses. Okay. Yeah. So John Shoemaker says $5 per side, double pane window typically. So that's $10 a window inside and out.
Yeah. I got to make it worth my while like that. And I know I said $8, but that's only for exterior. I got to.
Yeah. No,
I like what Dave said, 20 and 20 for interior and 25 for interior exterior. I like those numbers.
Steve still said, I'm still planning to call. No, well, you call Steve. I just won't answer.
Me and Steve's about to have us a dinner date.
Average Content said, we're killing it with gutter cleaning right now. But I just love spending money. Well, I hear you, bro. You going on a date with my boy Steve? Are you?
I need to.
Get you a free meal.
He's been talking to me for months about getting together. We're burning up to go to Jeff Ruby's.
Well, you better. That's why he talked to you for months, because it takes months to get into Jeff Ruby's. Hello, Chris.
I bet Steve knows a guy.
Probably does. Christopher Henson's in the house. Good to see you tonight.
Yeah.
Average Content says we run both services. Have made a ton located in Michigan. Lansing, Precision, Power Dash Wash. Glad you're here, brother. That's awesome. Lynchburg Pro Wash says windows are a huge part of our business. We recently purchased a window washing company and hire a guy just for that. Just killing it. Man, that blesses me. I'm so glad to hear that. I might have to send out that text now. Yeah. Jeff Ruby's on Jeremy. Sure, Jeremy's got that kind of money.
That's what he says. No, I don't. I'm broke. I need to get some of Steve.
He's got Jeremy. He's got Jeff Ruby money.
Steve does. What you don't know about Steve? His middle name's Ruby. Steve Ruby McFall.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Average Content says how much you charging for gutter cleaning and average, and then I'm sorry, Mr. Toybox said that, asking Average Content how much you charging for gutter cleaning. Average Content comes back and says right now $300 to $800 depending on the type of home, and downspouts OFC. Okay. That's way too broad of an answer right there, but because there's no such thing as average between $300 and $800. So come on now, pay attention.
Come on.
There you go. Mr. Toybox says in Alabama it's hard to get 200 on one story and 300 on two stories. That's the max you can get. Blows my mind how cheap they are in Alabama. It's just different markets, bro. I get it.
Yeah, those are my minimum prices for each floor, each story.
So I think, Gene, rule of thumb is we ask the customer to remove the screens.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with it.
I will not remove screens personally. I'm not breaking them. I'm not breaking Mama's 20-year-old screens.
Right. Way too much accountability there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christopher Hansen says, while it's on his mind, I'd like to ask for continued prayers for my friend Jeremy. On top of his mom recently with broken back and hip. Wow. In other words, on top of that, his mother recently broke her back and hip. Found out today she's eat up with cancer. Brother. Christopher, we're going to write that down. Hey, Melissa, would you bring me a pen, please? I asked my secretary to bring me a pen so I can write.
I'll tell you what, if she comes over with a pen and pad and writes it down and stands there and then feeds you like some cake, we're going to have problems.
Melissa, did you hear that? Jeremy wants you to stand right here and write that down and then feed me some cake. Here. I got the cake.
Okay.
I didn't say she should. Not maybe I can sound like I said she better do that now.
Thank you, sugar. I'm sorry, Christopher. We're laughing. We're not laughing at you, brother. It's inside joke right there. Inside joke, which will probably put me in the doghouse tonight.
Yeah, that's
But
on you.
Amanda thought it
That
was
one's on
funny.
you. I didn't do that one.
Amanda thought it was funny. I'm praying for Christopher Henson tonight.
Oh gosh.
Christopher Henson asked me to pray for his friend Jeremy and his mother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Jeremy. So let's talk about that big hospital wash. How did that come about, and how did it turn out?
Well, if we're friends on Facebook, then you've seen how it turned out. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen how it turned out, but some of these guys may not. And if you haven't, hit me up on Facebook or join the Wash Pros Facebook group, and there's posts in there. Do you want to read this first before I get into it, or what?
Yeah, I thought it would because I thought it was a prayer request. Just fired my first commercial customer. Had an employee having a family emergency. We left the job early. I explained everything to the owner, and they text back, "Seriously? Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
That is rough. No, thank you." Let's talk about that hospital job.
Yep, let's talk about it. What do you want to know? What'd you say? How'd it come about?
Yeah, how'd you come about that job?
Well, I found this lamp out in the desert sand, and rubbed on it, and here comes a little poof, a little blue guy. No, so I'm sitting here minding my own business one day. I don't even know where I was at, but phone rings. Didn't recognize the number. But, hey, Kentucky Wash Pros. And it's like, hey, this is so and so with so and so. We are looking for pressure washing quote on cleaning the exterior of our hospital. I said, oh yeah, okay. And they said, is that something that you would be capable of doing? I said, absolutely. I said, when can I come by and we can do a walkthrough, a walk around? You got to say things like that. When can I, or how soon can we do the walk around?
Right.
And so when you go do the walk around, better have your rig with you. And they're walking around, they're pointing all this stuff out. And we're having discussions. We walked this thing, and I said, oh, yeah, that's great. So just about when it's over, I said, hey, back there on this wall, I said, how would you guys feel about if I pulled my rig over here and fired it up and cleaned a portion of this wall for you? They said, yeah, that'd be cool. I said, they's like, can we watch? Yeah. I said, y'all can watch, see how we do things. And they said, yeah, that'd be great. So not only did I do just a little section of wall, I picked out the second tallest wall on this building, because I knew I couldn't hit the bottom. I couldn't hit the tallest wall from the ground because it was 4.5, 5 stories up.
Okay.
And it's around, generators and air units and winds going every which way. So I knew I would not be able to hit the top. So I hit the other one in the corner. That's 3 stories tall. Hitting the peak, no problem. And it's got the black little streaks coming down, and we're just having conversations, and they're blown away because they're like the whole time like, well, we're figuring out how we get it like a lift, figure out how we're going to get like scaffolding, how we're going to do this. I was like, yeah. I said, we can clean this. Yeah. And then I did that. Probably did a 15, 20 foot wide section, 3 stories tall, and just cleaned that whole section of the wall. So it wasn't like a little demo in a corner. It was a big portion of the wall. Like, hey, we're here. We just did this. And then it blew them away. And I'm not even sure if they got any other quotes. They took pictures, They took videos of it. They took videos of me doing it to show the CEO. And next thing I know, like, hey, send us a quote. Came back and sent the quote, and it was within probably 2 days after I sent the quote. maybe 3 days.
Wow.
Coming back like, yep, hey, it's approved.
Very
Okay.
nice.
But that they found me. Okay, here's how they found. They found me on Google. So,
Okay.
and I learned this from Pat Clark. You don't do a demo in an inconspicuous spot. You do the demo so everybody can see it, or you do it big enough that it makes an impression. I picked that up from Pat a couple of years ago at Sales Boost. Now,
Very
we
nice.
didn't do it on the front of the building just because of people coming in and out, but we did it on a big wall that they were wowed by. So it was
So they
it
must
worked. But they found me on Google. I said, "Hey, how did you find me on Google?" He said, "Well, we just typed in looking, pressure washing and see what we could what came up." And he said, "Man, we come across your Google profile, and you had like 175 5-star reviews, and you had all these pictures, and we saw your uniform, so we knew that this guy probably knew how to do what we needed."
I love it.
So
I love it. Yeah. There's something to be said about, as I call it, the down home professional, especially in residential. But when it comes to commercial, in particular, a hospital, a major manufacturer in your area, they want to represent well. So chucking a truck is not going to get those jobs.
no, very not. I showed up in my uniform, on my shirt, my polo shirt, and my work pants, and I had, but yeah, man, we were there.
And Lynchburg asked, did you shoot it from the roof?
So, Dave, I know you've seen the pictures. There's one the 4.5 5-story building that was shot from the roof because they had the god awfulest fire escape on this building, and there was no way to get a lift in to do it, and so we had to go up to do the fire, up the fire escape to do one wall. And I said, well, while I'm up here, why don't I just hang my arm off the end of this building here and just coat it and let it run down?
I love it.
Gravity's going to do the cleaning. So we did that. And Damon was on the bottom, watching everything, keeping everything wet, cleaning from the ground up. I went around the top of the building, and we cleaned that building. I felt like we cleaned that section of building in record time, it felt like. But yep, we cleaned 3 sides of it from the roof. Let it go down. Well, I mean, obviously he cleaned up some, but I cleaned down, so it worked out real well.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I want to ask you if you would. We'll continue that conversation here in a moment, but I want you to pray for a dear friend of mine passed away tonight. He's in his 80s. His name is Pastor Lynn Jackson, and I preached for him many times. In fact, when he retired at age 80, I took over the church for 2 years until we could find a permanent pastor. He passed away tonight. His name is Lynn Jackson. So we're going to pray for that family. Love that family.
It's tonight your night?
Tonight is my night.
I'm just asking because I'll make notes.
Yeah, I got it right here. Yep.
Okay.
I'll be glad to. But he's a great man of God, and he'll be greatly missed. The world was not worthy, for sure. Yeah, so was that your biggest job to date?
Yes. It's my largest job.
Okay.
And just for reference, that was about, I don't know the actual square footage of the hospital. It's pretty large. It's not huge, pretty large footprint. But I think I told you, Mike, there was around, what did I say, right around 50,000 square feet of total surface area that we cleaned. And I'm just calling surface area of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what it was. Now, we did no concrete, no rust removal, no none of that. It was just algae, mold, mildew removal. So,
okay. And how'd you go about pricing that?
Like I just referenced, I did it based off surface area.
I'm sorry, I see.
No, surface area was my. Let me back up. surface area was my guide on pricing that. So I calculated all the surface area with all the measurements I took from everything, and then I came up with a number. It's in my head, and I said, okay, let's factor in some difficulty. Let's factor in people coming in and out. Let's factor in a lift. Let's factor in the chemical. Let's factor in what the expectations are, and then yeah, we went from there. And I said, okay, well, I think that sounds about right to me. I'd be very content with this number right here.
Mm.
Now, I had, in full reference, I reached out to a few veteran guys that I call friends, and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking at doing. Am I off? Or am I on point? And took their guidance and their advice, and I rode with it. So, you know, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot either way.
Yeah.
On something like this, you don't want to be too low where it's miserable and you hate life. You don't want to be too high where you're out of the game. And after you do enough bigger, this was a big job for me. This is a real big job. It's probably a big job for, you know, anybody that's got an employee or two. Like, I mean, it's not a small feat, but yeah, so I just figured that out.
Yeah. Well, Christopher says, when you're quoting commercial job, he said, do you keep the same price regardless of size? Or if it's a bigger building, do you make an adjustment for the size? In other words, if it's a bigger building, do you lower the price a little bit per square foot? You know, and there's a lot of advantages to being on the same premises, you know, working water sources, dealing with the same guy. You know, it makes sense to maybe consider bringing the price down a little bit. What say you, Jeremy?
Yeah. So what say me is, guys, when I price a house, I just take the square footage of the house. I don't look at the walls. I pull up Zillow or I get the measurements and it says it's 2,500 square feet, then that's what it is. I learned when I first started, Ben Gregory gave me some sound advice. He said, when you're doing commercial quotes, he said, you can't base it off the square foot size of the building. He said, you have to think about the area that you're cleaning.
The scope of the work. Yeah.
So the scope of the work with, you know, you're not cleaning, it might be 100,000 square foot warehouse or whatever. He said, but you're not cleaning 100,000 square feet. You know, you're cleaning whatever, you know, the length and the height of the walls, and you need to make that make sense for you and your business and everything. So, you know, your price might be the same. You know, I don't know what you are. You say you're 25 cents on a house wash for a 25,000 or 2,500 square feet house. Then you may be the same price on doing commercial work at that. You may be more. I don't know. It could go either way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables on that. Hey, but the thing is, when you're getting into something like that, you need to seek some advice from someone who's done it, just to check everything. There's nothing wrong with that.
What's up, Smokey? I wrote your name down there, buddy. We're praying for you later tonight.
Yeah, Smokey. I'm sorry I missed your calls, man. I've been a little tied up here lately, but I'd like to holler at you.
What's up, Jeff Martin? Good to see you tonight.
By the way, Nathan asked me if this was my first time on a lift. It was my first time on a lift. First time I've ever used a lift in 5 years. And it was a 45 footer, so it wasn't nothing crazy, but it was a learning curve. I'll tell you that, figuring everything out. Next one I hope they give me, it's got like turbo, because this thing moved like a turtle. It was terrible.
What's going on, Anthony? Good to see you, old buddy. Hey. Nathan said they're fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
John got in just a little bit after you said that earlier. How many hours did it take you? And was it just you and Damon?
Just me and Damon. It took about 15, 16 hours of work time, and which was covered in about 2.5 days. Full disclosure, John, I don't think we started spraying the first drop of water or anything until about 11:30 on Monday, and we didn't even get there much before that. We just got there in time. We had to wait for the lift to get delivered, so we were having to do that. So I mean, I'm not really counting that as we were on the job site, but we waited just an hour and a half or so with the lift guy getting everything unloaded and getting it moved over and getting all the staging going. But yeah, about 15, 16 hours. So we only worked about 5 hours or so on that first day, and then worked I don't know, 8 hours the next day, something like that, and then about 3 today, and we were out. So,
Man, you killed it. I'm super proud of that, dude.
well,
Well,
I'll be honest, it's having the right equipment. I understand we're all at different points in business, but once you get with the right equipment for the right jobs for those jobs, makes everything breeze, man. Um, Good point. We ran AR-45s. I've got one. Damon had one, and that's what we ran on the whole thing. We used a pressure washer one time, and the only reason we used our pressure washer was Damon was keeping, when I was on the lift, we were working off my trailer, and he was keeping the greenery watered down. Mind you, we're spraying 6% on a lot of this building because it's
Sure.
filthy,
Sure.
filthy.
Yeah.
And so he's keeping everything wet. So he would just fired up the 8 gallon and, just rinsed everything. So, but yeah. And I'll tell you another thing that was great about having, and I'm just plugging it out here for my buddy Zach, is the remote start
Mm.
was total game changer. I hate that I went this long without having it, Mike.
Yeah.
But dude, being on that lift and spraying that up there and not just having to stay on the trigger, I could coat the wall, and then I could just turn the engine off and wait 10 minutes while it's dwelling, and then fire it back up, put a second coat on, turn it back off, wait, and then fire it back up. And I'm up on the lift, Damon's doing something, instead of him having to run back and forth, me holler, hey, turn this off, or hold the trigger in and just spraying water and everything. And no, it was nice. It was so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. I was going to ask you. I thought we'd
Oh,
definitely make that a point of conversation tonight. So, tell us about that. You actually installed it yourself. I know you've got a video out there, one of your most recent videos. You got that from Zach there at North Georgia Airless. He
yep.
sent that to you. You had to make a few adjustments that are very typical, but you got that going, and you're very excited about it.
Dude, yeah, I absolutely love it. We spoke, said, hey, I got a big job coming up, and this would be very beneficial on this job. And I got it installed. I got a video on it's my latest video on YouTube. Took about, I think it's only about a 5-minute video, but it does not take very long to hook up. If you've got a battery and you know how to plug things in, it's that simple. It really is that simple. And oh my gosh, dude, it's great. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Um, I can even see how beneficial it would be on a residential job, especially if you're like around the back of the house and you got to move something, or if the customer comes out and starts talking to you and you're a talker, instead of sitting there holding the gun, spraying every few seconds, you can just shut it off and then fire it back up.
Mm.
I really do. And listen, I'm just going to plug it out there. If you guys want one, you can pick one up at washproshop.com. I'm not sure if you've got them on there for you, Mike, on your website, but
Yet, no.
they are they're good. I mean, and you can get them on your pressure washers. You can get them on your 690s, your 800s, your Kohlers, your 390s. I think he's even got them for a Predator.
Hmm.
But it's and I'm not trying to plug it, but I believe in it.
Yeah. I'm going to change subjects just for a moment here. And Jeff, I'm going to actually tag you or show both of your comments. Real quickly, Jeff says, I did 18,000 square foot residential job. I came way down the price because the guy has several commercial properties. He said, but he was so overbearing that I'm not sure that I want to do any of his commercial properties. Then he comes back right after that and he says, when is a job just not worth it for you?
That's a good topic.
That's a very good topic. Yeah, I've had to fire a few over the years, and it felt good firing those customers. I hated to have to do it, and by firing them, meaning that, well, one guy this year that I fired, I did not include him in my CRM text blast as I do every year. And I decided I just wasn't going to take his call. He texted me and said, hey, when can you come wash for me? This was back in the spring. And I told him, I said, hey, I appreciate the opportunities you've given me over the years. I'm not sure that we're a very good fit anymore, but I wish you the best in finding a new pressure washer. That was the end of that. I haven't heard from him, but I had to fire a few. When is a job not worth it for you? You know what? I didn't get into this business to have a boss, even though in reality, if you really want to nail it down, every person who hires you is in some way your employer, right? I mean, they have employed you to wash at their home or their business. But there are just some people who make me wish I was back at the factory, and I don't like that feeling. So I don't know if there's just a solid answer, but there's just some people who make it so nice, and there's some people who make it so difficult. I love just telling to pound pavement.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, man. There's just some people not worth a headache. So in your CRM, you just put that customer tag with an F for fired.
Yeah.
That way when you send your text blast out every year, you can just exclude customer tag F for all the fired ones.
Yeah.
And I really hate Jeff. I've come to think about it, man. And sometimes you live and you learn on lowering the price because you think of potential work. Sometimes you're better off not to lower the price. If they want it done and they find value in it, your value is your value.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the same thing you have as far as trying to cut a deal for more properties, and sometimes it just snips you, man.
Yeah.
See a couple questions right here.
Yeah, realtors will do that as well.
Yeah. Dave, I never had to get out more than 200 feet. I have an extra 200 feet of 5/8 hose ready to plug in to run 400. Fairly certain you can run 400 feet of hose on that. People run 300 feet all the time. So I know my buddy Sean Hoderman, he runs hundreds of feet on his, I believe Sean runs MP40s. So same difference as far as how that would work.
Richard Kurtz has asked this twice or referenced it twice. What do you use for stone fence with cement board as a backer? Well, we use SH, sodium hypochlorite. We're going to use the same thing we use to wash a house, maybe just a stronger mix. Hope that helps. He said cement board with it pressed into the mortar, I think is what he was saying. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. Let's stay right here. Sean, I do not have the remote valves on my AR. However, on this job, I could see it being beneficial, being up on the lift, being up on a roof and away from my trailer, where this would have had some real potential to be to take advantage of those. And I don't really know a lot about them, but I know our buddy Anthony. I believe it's Anthony, right? I don't know what Anthony's last name is. I'm drawing a blank.
I am as well, but it's Valvantage.
Is it Buck? Is his last name Buck? It's Buck and Doe.
No, Anthony.
Buck and Doe pressure washing, right?
I can find it real quick.
Shook. Is it Shook? Shock?
Nope.
God, if you're watching, forgive me. I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, Val Vantage, he has the
Anthony Hawk.
Hawk. Why is it not Hawk and Doe? It's Buck and Doe.
It should be Hawk and Doe.
Hawk and Eagle. I don't know. Hawk and Falcon. But anyways, he has a nice little invention, a nice little setup, and I think they would have been really beneficial. And I would have liked to have them on this job.
Jeremy, have you ever ran a ZK1 and the Red Gun and or Water Boss on the 6.5 Predator?
No, I haven't ran a 6.5 Predator in 3-4 years probably. So no, I ran the ZK1, but I never ran a Red Gun or a Water Boss on it.
But the answer is yes, you can do it.
You can. Not sure what your output, what your experience is going to be. Just those guns are designed for large flow, for higher flow. I can run the Water Boss on my 10-gallon, and it runs better on a 10-gallon than it does an 8-gallon because the orifice size is so large.
Sure. Well, that's a great question right here. Have you ever watched a houseboat while it's in the water?
Never have.
And it says, have you ever guys done the bottom of the houseboat while dry docked? Have not.
Never have.
Have not.
I try to stay away from houseboats.
I'm just kind of reading through these comments real quick. I kind of got all enthralled in your conversations there, and kind of by the wayside. No, we've got 59 in the room as we speak.
George Yost, that's what I was just looking at right there.
That's a great one.
It is a great one. I'll tell you who's got a good video on that one's buddy Joe Deary.
Joe Deary
from Putnam, Connecticut. And I don't know how many doors he did on that one. I'm not really sure what ended up working the best. Was it Cleansall? That I can't remember. Or Gutter Butter?
I don't think he used Cleansall. But he could have and probably should have. That was awfully
to me, I'm a fan. I've never used Gutter Butter. I've never used Gutter Bright. I've never used anything that says gutter. It's just not readily available to where I'm at.
Right.
Cleansall BC is fairly readily available within about an hour for me. So that's what I've used. And I have great experience when doing anything oxidation with Cleansall. You could even use Dragon Juice. I've never used it for cleanse or for oxidation, but it's what it's for.
Yeah.
People have great experience with all three. People have bad experience with all three. I think it's just the situation and the expectation of everything.
Lynchburg says, Mike, do you know where we can get a Water Boss? www.readywashsystems.com.
You need to say it like .com.
.com. I've done it a few times. It just feels weird.
But you know what's funny? We have you guys know the vapors, like these vapor shops and vapor stores. When I've heard you say that 2 or 3 times to me, we'll have a conversation or you'll say that right there, or whatever. But there's a commercial in our area that was been around for like 15 years, and it's called, go to the magicvaporshop.com. And you said it, and I was like, man, I got that stupid Magic Vapor Shop commercial in my head now.
Nathan, I think you need to change your name, buddy. I think because it's Christmas lights, I think you should name it Nathan Blinker. There's a lot of guys ready for lights. Ain't no doubt about it. October's a couple of days away, man. A couple of days away.
Hey, Derek, I see your question. You do need to have, it does need to be electric start to add remote start. Do have to have that. Mm.
I am
Yes,
tired.
Nathan knows what I'm talking about. He's tagged in the magicvaporshop.com.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Uh,
Christopher Henson says, never done a distance test on my 8 GPM, but I noticed that I may not be getting what I should. From pump through unloader block, unloaded fresh as old trailer setup, straight up to flow with 200 feet of hose. Well, something you might consider is your unloader. Make sure you got a good fresh unloader. And you might have to disengage it and then go back and reset the unloader. It's worth a try, anyways. Christopher Henson.
For sure.
Jeff Martin's got one heck of a question right here. What's the most unusual cleaning product that you found that works well that you would have never thought of, i.e., aluminum brightener? I got mine already.
What is the most unusual cleaning product that you found that works well?
Yeah, I got mine.
I guess I don't really know. I mean,
I got mine.
I guess I got one too.
Rinse-Aid.
Oh, okay.
Going with Rinse-Aid. I love my Rinse-Aid. I know I didn't coin it, but I don't know who did, and I kind of feel like I did. I kind of put it out there 2 or 3 years ago with my distance, and cleaning windows with the Rinse-Aid. So I feel like that's the only real
unusual.
The only thing I've got, that's mine, so to speak. What do you think?
I like that. I don't think I really have anything unusual. I did use some barkeeper's friend to buff out a door.
Doorknob.
Door plate, handle. I don't know what you call it. Looked great, by the way. Great.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't have one, man. I want to say this real quick. Both of these are excellent products. NMD 80 and One Restore. Love them both. Keep them both. Dave, I think you should keep NMD 80 for the hardcore issues, because NMD 80 is, from what I read on the labeling, like steroid One Restore. It's like super concentrated.
Very nice.
One Restore is great. The NMD 80 will change your life. Change concrete's life too.
What would you use NMD 80 on, Jeremy? What would be your go-to for that?
So you can use it on concrete splatter. I've used it personally on new construction windows when like the window frames and the windows, when they're bricking and doing mortar around the windows, they'll get splatter on it. You can do it on concrete smears on brick when they don't wipe them off real good. I know guys that use NMD 80 like on new construction concrete sidewalks. You can use One Restore too. So I love both and I keep both. And John Taylor says he does too, and that guy knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two.
I like it.
I tell you what I've got coming is I've ordered some EcoChem art, and I'm excited to see how well that does on some stuff. I haven't had to use it yet, but I did order a gallon of it because I thought I probably should keep a gallon of that on hand, just in case.
There you go.
So that could be an unusual thing.
Richard Kurt said, I tried using Rinse-Aid on windows after a house wash. It does remove spots and streaks. Thanks for the tip.
Nice.
I'll send you my Venmo.
You know what I think's another good cleaner? I've never used it for pressure washing, but I like, is it Super Power? The degreaser from like Walmart. It's not Purple Power.
I think it's super
Super clean.
clean. It's what it is. Yeah.
I think that's a strong. That's a pretty. I feel like that's a pretty strong degreaser.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What have we missed? Charles Henry. You in Florida? You at Disney? You hanging out with the mouse? Are you at the mouse's ear? Is that where you're at?
I love it. I love it.
Man, I'm far down here.
Christopher says, Mike, other than the one video you posted in your channel's infamously, have you ever done or do any graffiti removal? I've done a handful of jobs. It's definitely not something that I enjoy. I'm not really much on specialty cleaning like that. You know, I don't even like to go and do, hydraulic fluid cleanups and things. I know there's a lot of money and all of that. No, I haven't. But obviously, Graffiti Remover is a product. And then what's that other product for removing graffiti?
Elephant snot.
Elephant snot. There's another one that's darn famous, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I got it out of my daggone garage, and I can't think what it's called. There's two versions of it. What is it called? One's blue, one's red.
Tag off.
Taganator.
Taganator. That's it. Taganator.
That's it.
Taganator.
Martin, so smart. So smart. Hey, Mike.
Yo.
Real quick, you got any plans for January?
You know what? I'm kind of booked personally. Would you like to know what I'm doing?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Well, January 1st, I plan to roll over, scratch my butt about noon. That's all I'm doing on January 1st.
Is that it?
Yeah. Might watch some football or something. Yeah, January the 22nd through the 25th in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I can't believe we're just now mentioning it, and I'm super excited about that. I'm going to answer this question real quick. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're in the middle of putting together our very first skid as we speak, and 8 GPM machine, 2 slim tanks, building a 6.5 starting next week, and I'm excited about it. We're going to be so far. What we have? What we say? We have 49 people signed up. Is that what it was? 48, 49.
40. Let's see. Hang on a minute.
Super excited about the.
There's 55.
55. Wow.
Well, we obviously weren't counting ourselves on that, so I had to include
Okay.
that. But yeah, 55. That one right there. She might be there.
If she's going, I'm definitely going. Look at that now. She takes after her daddy right there because her mom is so humble, you know. So it's awesome. Yeah. So January 22nd through the 25th. If you have not bought your tickets and booked your room as of yet, man, you're going to miss it. It is the Great Smoky Mountain Wash Retreat. You can see it at the bottom of the screen on the ticker as it is going from right to left. You'll want to get in there, washretreat.com, get your tickets and your room booked. Tickets are selling fast. It looks like we're going to stop selling right about the 100 mark. We have 50 plus already signed up, so you'll want to do that ASAP.
Yep. Got to get it booked. We're going to have a good time. Big time.
Sir. Yes, sir. Look at this right here. Right here. The best question of the night.
Well, Kyle, I think we're on most Wednesdays. Every once in a while, we may take a break.
Yeah.
Maybe once a quarter, take a day off.
Yeah.
But at least for the last, well over a year and a half, we've been here on Wednesdays. Man, think about that. We're coming up on 2 years. Ain't that
It's crazy. It's crazy, dude.
I know.
It's nuts.
I don't even know how many episodes it is.
We can go back and count, I guess, if we just
Uh,
had that kind
well,
of time, I suppose.
We'll get Dave Markland to do that. He's a numbers guy.
There you go. He can count.
He'll know. Someone tell us how many episodes have we done. Does anybody know?
Somebody's like, I'm not counting how many of the worst podcast ever episodes there have been.
Exactly.
It's fun though. I'm having a blast.
Smokey must have seen you yawn. He said, "Mike,
Yeah.
go to bed. Mike,
Yeah.
go to bed." What you can't tell, Smokey, is that my eyes has been closed half this time. I'm so tired from the last 3 days.
And I got an early long day tomorrow, so yeah, I'm definitely hitting the eject button and going to bed. Hey, let's bring this full circle. I'm going to be sending out some prayers tonight. Christopher Henson, we're praying for you, praying for Jeremy's mother, Jeremy and Jeremy's mother. This is not Jeremy Messer. This is Christopher Henson's friend, Jeremy, and his mother, praying for her. And then I had asked everyone if you would to pray for the family of a dear friend of mine. Lynn Jackson is his name. He has passed away tonight in his 80s. Great man of God, pastored at the same church for 40 plus years. And he is in heaven. Certainly the world was not worthy of Pastor Lynn Jackson. And then Darren, aka Smokey, says he has a kidney infection. Going to pray for Darren. We'll pray for Darren. Anybody else before we go to prayer this evening?
Hey, pray for a guy I know, Brent Jackson.
Did you say Brent?
I did.
Brent Jackson.
Yep.
Praying for Brent.
It's health. Just saying.
We'll continue to pray for Scott Terry. Glad that things went well with your surgery, Scott. We'll continue to pray for you. All right, let's go to the Lord in prayer. You want to?
Yep. Go for it.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to thank you tonight for the opportunities that you give us, first and foremost, to communicate with heaven. And we know when we pray in the name of Jesus that the antenna of heaven stands straight up. We capture your attention. And you said in your word that that where two or three touching any one thing and asking in prayer, those things shall be done unto them. So we make our petitions known unto you tonight. Lord, we know that you already know all things. But boy, it does our heart good to pray to you and be comforted with the requests that we have. We pray tonight for Christopher Henson. He has a strong burden for his friend Jeremy, in particular Jeremy's mother. We ask, Lord, you know about that, and we ask God that your hand of healing would be on that situation. We thank you for the many years that we got to minister with Pastor Lynn Jackson, and his faithfulness to your kingdom was great, and many people, no doubt thousands, who were impacted by his ministry, and now he's there in heaven with you. And we thank you for his life. Bless his family. Pray, Lord, tonight for Smokey as he has a kidney infection. We've had those. They're not fun. Ask God that you'd take away his pain, remove that from him. We pray for Brent Jackson. You know that situation. Jeremy asked that we pray for his friend Brent. And then for Scott Terry, Lord, you've done a wonderful work on his body and allowing him to have the surgery and it being successful. And now he's at home recuperating, and he asks us to continue to pray. Father, would you bless this podcast? We get on here and act goofy and silly, but we also know that this is a livelihood that provides for people and their families. So we pray for the businesses that are represented here in the podcast. Ask for safety as we're out there washing, and great provision as we are hoping to bless our families, our churches, and those that we know who have great needs. May we May we see you do a great work in our businesses. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you all, and to all, good night. Boom.